If you have forgotten about Florida football in the last few weeks since that showdown against Utah in the opener, they're still around. They're 4-2. They notched their first win in the SEC in quite some time, and they've got LSU with the Swamp coming up this weekend. We got David Waters from Gators Breakdown on the line, as we typically do, to break down Florida football. David, what's going on?
Yeah, Mark, it had been a while since Florida had won that SEC game. It had been it was a day shy of a year when Florida beat Vanderbilt last year for their last SEC win. So, that's partly the reason Dan Mullen was fired, and you bring in Billy Napier, who loses his first two SEC games, of course, to Kentucky and Tennessee. Missouri was kind of the remedy game. It wasn't easy, but it was a remedy game for the Gators. There were a couple of times they could have pulled away from that game. They were up 10-0 with the ball, didn't really pull away. They were up 24-10, could have pulled away there as well, but let Missouri hang around there. And part of that, Mark, has to do with inconsistent quarterback play.
Yeah, there are particular people out there, David, that would have liked to have seen them pull away in terms of picking against the spread. But, hey, they got the win. That's what's important to them, 24-17 over Mizzou. A Mizzou team, hey, we'll put it in perspective, actually, of course, put a huge scare into Georgia the week before. And, that Mizzou team missed an extra point that would have beat Auburn. So they could be much better than their 0-3 record at this point. So you bring up the quarterback. It seems as though Anthony Richardson has somewhat regressed since his performance against Utah.
Well, in some ways, Mark, yeah, some ways, no. It's actually just been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. Had that great performance in Knoxville versus Tennessee. Florida run game couldn't really get going. He carried the offense there to now, granted, there's just he's a turnover machine. He turns the ball over every game. You can pretty much bank on it now. Now it's just Mark, it's really the degree of the turnovers now for Anthony Richardson. How big are the turnovers going to be? Fumbles there. He had one in Knoxville, had one this past week versus Missouri as well. Then the interceptions there. Interceptions haven't been killer. They've been drive killers, but they haven't been a pick six back the other way like they were versus Kentucky, and that going a long way and losing that game. So he's got to get the turnovers cleaned up, Mark. That's where it starts. For all the struggles of maybe decision making and accuracy at times, it's the turnovers that are really, really hurting Anthony Richardson right now. As I said, mainly killing drives right now for Florida. But it's been a roller coaster. He had two really good games in a row versus Tennessee, and then, of course, the given versus Eastern Washington. But, given the terrible performance versus South Florida, which we know now to be a pretty bad team, he still played well versus Eastern Washington. You will like to see him keep that going, but it was another step back in the Missouri game this past week. So, Mark, we're at the point now. We don't know what we're getting. We don't know what Anthony Richardson we're getting week in and week out.